Afternoon. Alright, YouTube, hoping you guys are all well. So I'm just going to give my thoughts on Buffalo Stampede, which was just on the weekend on the 13th of April 2019, where myself and a bunch of the clients of the MFHP team went down to Bright, Victoria, and pretty much had the event of our lives, I would imagine. I know for myself, and I know for a lot of the clients, it was something very new, something very different. So we drove down on Friday, left home about 5 a.m. on Friday morning, and then drove down to Bright. Took us probably about 7 to 8 hours by the time we stopped. Had some food at Oliver's on the way down, and actually ended up meeting all the clients along the way at the Oliver's there. And we got a bit of a happy snap there with the big koala, and we're all getting very excited for the day that was to come, which was the 20-kilometer trail for my clients, and then obviously for myself, which was the 75-kilometer trail run, the ultra marathon up to Buffalo, the mountain. So it's now Wednesday, a few days afterwards, and the body's just starting to recover, which is really nicely. A fair bit of inflammation throughout the joints and things. My feet were swollen afterwards, so feeling just a little bit more normal and human again, which is kind of nice. So I got down there on Friday, then we all got our bibs on Friday afternoon, and then we pretty much took it pretty chilled, went out to the shopping centres and just got some food for dinner. Had a bit of an early dinner, probably about 4 or 5, just to try and get some food in, and then allowed my digestive system to take part pretty much 12 hours beforehand, so I didn't have any food sitting in my stomach by the time I kicked off the race at 6 a.m. And the clients did something relatively similar as well. So yeah, it was an absolutely amazing weekend. So the clients started at 7 o'clock. There was a whole bunch of them doing the 20-kilometer trail event, and just in 20 kilometers there was 2,000 meters of elevation gain and elevation loss. So to give a bit of an example and give a bit of a description of some of these climbs, is that 2 kilometers, the first hill going up Mystic, took people on average a bit over an hour just to travel 2 kilometers. So there were definitely some climbs on hands and feet, and there was a couple of clients that had some poles as well, which become very, very handy. So yeah, it was very steep. So basically, once we got to the top of Mystic, they then just came straight down a track called Mick's track, and that is just as steep. Just goes straight down, super rocky, super sharp, very easy to cut yourself. And no matter what sort of photos that we throw up, it just kind of doesn't really give it any justice about how steep these tracks were. Once we went down to Mick's, the clients then had to travel up to a place called Clear Spot, which is up their next hill, and which again was about a 2 or 3 kilometer climb up, which took them and took everyone a considerable amount of time to get up the top. So once it got to the top, they turned around and then went back to Bright. So on average, it was about 5 hours to complete the 20K. So you can imagine and hopefully appreciate about how tough these tracks are. Absolute kudos to my clients, and kudos to everyone that did the track, the 20-kilometer version. It's rough. The Ultra Sky Marathon, Buffalo Stampede, whether you're doing the 10-kilometer, 20-kilometer, 42, or the 75, they definitely throw some seriously hard tracks at you, and some seriously hard vert, with some massive elevation gain and loss. So quads were feeling it. Clients are still feeling it. It's Wednesday. Everyone's still a little bit sore and a little bit fatigued, and I'd say that's going to continue for a little while. It's taken me a little bit to kind of, 1, do this video, and 2, to come off the weekend, because it was such an amazing weekend, and we've had such a big lead up pretty much since November, December last year. We've all been thinking about this event, and it's such an amazing thing for myself as a coach, is to really see everyone's physical performance really kind of just shine at one time, especially when there's a whole bunch of them doing it together and they all shine together. Everyone has their own experiences and it's just a little bit different for everyone, but for me as their coach, to see these people that have busy lives, that, you know, training isn't everything, and that they make it work so that it works with their life rather than making it run their life, and, you know, thinking and training more intuitively, listening to their body along the way. And it's really cool to see when you have a proper program, and a program that's very periodized towards an event and towards a goal, that you don't actually have to train a whole heap and realistically that hard to get the body to do what these guys did. So kudos to all of you. You all know how proud I am of you guys. It's pretty emotional, even just thinking about it. Hence why it's taken me so long to really try and write something. Even been quieter on social media, which is rather interesting. So that concludes the discussion about my clients, and my experience for the 75 kilometer trail run was just everything that I wanted. I wasn't going in it for a time, wasn't going in it to beat someone or whatever it may be. I was going in it for myself and just to get the thing done, but not only get the thing done, but enjoy the experience along the way as well. And I absolutely did that. It was unreal. So I kicked off at about 6 a.m. on the Saturday morning on the 13th of April, and we headed up the same track as my clients, went up Mystic, down Mix, and then up Clear Spot, and then we continued on all the way to Mount Buffalo, which was about a 10 or 11 kilometer climb directly straight up to the mountain. And once we got to the top of Buffalo, there was this absolutely beautiful lake, kind of like this, but you're significantly higher on top of Mount Buffalo, and there's this beautiful lake, some very technical trails that we have to work our way through, and there's a little bit of a loop at the top, and that's basically the halfway point, and then we work all our way down. Now, I was feeling really good pretty much all the way to the top of Buffalo. Didn't have any complaints, nutrition was going down really well, electrolytes were going down really well, but probably because it was going so well, I tried to make a good thing even better, and end up having a little bit too much electrolytes and end up getting a lot of gut distress on top of Buffalo pretty much at the turnaround point. And my stomach basically ballooned right out and couldn't actually stomach any water, any more nutrition or anything like that. And then pretty much coming down Buffalo, I was running and fixating on trying to squeeze my stomach, although it was feeling like I had a big balloon in there. Made it very uncomfortable. So I did vomit intentionally about 7 or 8 times coming down Buffalo to try and make myself feel better. It did help. And then I got to the end down to the bottom of Buffalo, which gave us about another 25k left, so that would have been at the 50 kilometer mark. And I thought I was feeling a little bit better, so ingested some watermelon at one of the aid stations just to try and have something that was a little bit easier on the stomach. And then about 10 minutes later, the same sort of thing happened. So pretty much for the second half of the event, there was no water and no nutrition. So definitely relied on my own body fat to try and get myself to the end, and my ability to be fat adapted, which is kind of ironic considering that's how I train. So I'm very happy and very lucky that was the case. So once I got over the gut distress and I didn't consume any water or any food, started to feel a little bit better towards the end. Then we had to make all our way back up those tracks, all the way back to Bright, finishing at 13 and a half hours for my first ultra marathon, finishing there at the end with my wife and my son. Let's just say it was the best experience and physical experience I would probably say that I've ever had. I was on another level. Just never kind of physically and mentally pushed myself so hard, and to have the loved ones at the end is just, there's no feeling like it, and it's been pretty hard to come off for this week, as you can see. So, but this has definitely just kicked off something for myself. I finally found the sport that I'm after. I feel like I can be healthy and perform at the same time, rather than just, fixating on my performance. I can train intuitively. I don't feel like I have to train all the time, but yet I can kind of perform on these amazing feats. So where I go from here is I keep building the MFHP community and the MFHP adventure team, and we get more like-minded people out there doing these events. And rather than just training and flogging yourself at the gym all the time over and over again for essentially the same goals, and that's to get stronger or get leaner, it kind of puts it all in perspective, and you really need to combine that health aspect. Does it fit your life? Does it fit your routine? But then also, is your performance actually moving forward? And these events are a massive indicator of whether you are moving forward or you're not. And I think that's one of the major reasons why I love it. Anyway, guys, massive thank you to the MFHP team once again. Bright, awesome 2019. Another one ticked off. We've got Oxfam in August. We've got a half marathon to do in November. And then we're gearing up for the UTA in May 2020, where I'll be completing a 100K ultra marathon up at the Blue Mountains. And some of the team have got the UTA 50 kilometer that they've already said yes to, which I am seriously excited that we have 12 months to prep up, ready to go. Thanks for a great weekend, team. You guys are the best. And I look forward to many more adventures ahead. Talk soon. Thanks for a great weekend, team. You guys are the best. And I look forward to many more adventures ahead. Talk soon.